All right, so Bitcoin got another move up today, actually breaking these last swing highs. When we got the CPI numbers this morning, apparently they were bullish enough to get us up above these highs. And we are still seeing some very conflicting signs on Market Cipher. Like the daily time frame, money flow and momentum has come down a lot from the last time that we were putting in these highs. In fact, you can see a trend of momentum and money flow continuing to put in lower highs as we made higher highs in price. So it definitely is still possible that this momentum and money flow really doesn't end up coming up that much and we end up topping out somewhere and continuing to print these bear divs as we put in yet another high. You could say the same thing about the 12-hour. Money flow was coming up a little bit. It's kind of slowing down now. It seems like it's curving off to the side a little bit. Momentum is coming up a lot though, but still, it looks like we have a real shot to form some divergences here, especially considering how high this momentum wave was and how high the 12-hour money flow got back here. And it has, come down a lot since then. So I'd say definitely still potential to form some bear divs at this high. But the 4-hour, I gotta say, does look pretty bullish still. I mean, we just printed a green dot there. Money flow just crossed into the green. And the time frames below the 4-hour, like the 2-hour, money flow is getting very thick. We did get some divergences here with momentum, but with the money flow looking this thick, I'd say it looks overall bullish. Same thing with this 1-hour. We did get some divergences with momentum. Maybe that just means we have to consolidate a little bit. Maybe we come back down to retest some key levels, but overall the money flow on the 4-hour to 1-hour looks really bullish. Now the 24-minute money flow is still pretty thick, but we did get divergences here with money flow and momentum as we came up to put in that last high. From this wave to that last wave we printed, we got a divergence with momentum, and this money flow wave did put in a higher high than this most recent one. So, technically that is a little bit more bearish, but still the money flow is, pretty thick. And, it does seem like the 4-hour to 1-hour money flow has, some more upside potential. So if this was a more clear divergence, then I would say it's probably, a little bit more bearish. Like if the money flow was really coming down a lot, I mean, even if this money flow starts to cross down into this red, that might start looking a little bit more bearish, especially since, we did get this divergence into a very key level. It is the golden pocket that we've been waiting for a while, and we did break out of the top of this range that we've held resistance on for a while. So, this was a very key level, and we did technically see divergences in it, but not the most bearish divergences I've ever seen. And so I'd say right now, it seems like we could come down a little bit. Maybe we just kind of form another consolidation range like we have been. And the key level I'd be watching is this previous high, the 25.3K high. This is an extremely important level right now, and that is because of market structure. It was the last swing high, and so if we start falling back down below this level, especially within the next 6 hours before this daily candle closes, and the daily close ends up being below this swing high, well, we may have a SFP on the daily time frame, which then may indicate that we would target the daily lows that created this move, and that would be all the way down here. So, a SFP on the daily time frame may indicate that we are going to give this move back entirely. And I think that is a very real possibility considering the, divergences that we have on some of these higher time frames. Even on the 4-hour, we still have divergences here. If this wave comes up a little bit more though, we could invalidate that divergence, at least in terms of momentum, but money flow has still come down a lot from where it was at back here. So, I think this daily candle close is going to be pretty significant. But, if we get a daily candle close above this level, I don't think that necessarily means that we are officially breaking out of here and that we're then going to go to 30K. I mean, it does make it more likely for sure, But we have to remember that when we broke daily structure down here, when we broke this last swing low, we got several daily candle closes down below this level, yet we still got this violent pump back up, and then we broke the last swing high, which is pretty odd. When you break market structure, when you break a low like this and you get candle closes, you would then expect price to put in a lower high if it gets moved back up and then continue the trend. At least more often than not, that's what you would expect. So, this is a little odd that we didn't really follow those market structure rules. We just came up and broke the high. Well, we could zoom out and try and get a bit more clarity on the higher time frames. And what do we see here? Well, we can see that on the weekly time frame, we did not get a candle close down below this significant low. In fact, even though this is more local weekly market structure, like the larger term market structure is going all the way from the all-time highs, the high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and now technically we did get above this last lower high, even though this is what the actual weekly market structure is looking like. When you look at, kind of more local market structure on the weekly, you still kind of can point out that structure that we were looking at on the daily. But when we came down to break this local structure here, break this last higher low, we SFP'd it. We closed this candle back above this level. So, you could say that the higher time frames invalidate the lower time frames, and, those daily candle closes below that level don't matter. And so I was thinking we could potentially be looking at the same thing for this high now. What if we just end up kind of consolidating up above this high, closing a couple daily candles above this previous swing high, just like we did at these lows, and then eventually we end up falling back down below it before the weekly candle closes. Well, then we may be looking at the same thing that we would be looking at for the daily SFP, and, we may target those lows. So, really, until this next weekly candle closes in like 5 days, I think it is still possible that we SFP the high on the weekly. And, we did already SFP this lower high on the weekly. It was we just barely got above it with this wick here. We actually may not have on some exchanges. I don't know. I didn't check all of them. But on Bybit, we already SFP'd this last lower high for the more macro market structure. But, if we got another wick above there and then we came back down and closed this weekly candle down here somewhere, that's still may be like bearish in terms of the higher time frame weekly market structure as well. That may lead some to believe that the downtrend that we've been seeing on the weekly time frame may continue, and we may put in lower lows again. So I think this upcoming weekly close is going to be very important. I think if we start pumping up, up towards 30K, the idea of us getting an SFP on the weekly would be less likely for sure. But if we're just going to consolidate up here for a few days, I would definitely still be keeping that in mind. Because, we just saw that down here where we consolidated down below the lows for a few days, but then still got to move up to take out the highs. So I would definitely be keeping that in mind. And other than that, I've already taken out a decent amount of profits for my longs. I'm still holding some just in case, we keep up this bullish momentum. We really haven't seen super confident signs of the bullish momentum slowing down yet. But if we start to lose this significant high and start to come well below it, I may be getting a little less bullish for sure. And in the meantime, I'm potentially looking for scalp trades inside of these little consolidation ranges we've been forming. This was the last trade I took, so if we're going to form another little range up here, I'll probably be looking for scalps. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Really appreciate the support, and I'll see you all in the next one.